This is William Crosby. This is my profile, and I'm here with Eliza Crosby, who worked at the elementary school that was closed down. How are you today, Eliza?
I'm good.
So could you tell me a little bit about yourself?
About myself?
Mm-hmm.
What do you want me to say?
Anything?
I work for the Jordan School District, and I worked at West Jordan Elementary, and I was listed as an assistant, but I was kind of their permanent substitute, so I subbed for the teachers so that they didn't have to call in subs from outside or from the district if they were in like an emergency or anything like that.
Okay. How long did you work at the elementary school?
I started there in, I think, 2017 or 2016, something like that. I started out just working in their support department with the support kids, and then after I was there for about 2.5, 3 years, I moved over to just being an assistant in the second grade, and then that's when they moved me to being like their permanent substitute.
Okay. And what made you want to work at the elementary school?
Long story short, it was my daughter had a medical emergency, and I working the 8-hour a day job was straining on my family, with me gone 8 hours and my husband 8 hours, and the kids would come home and I wouldn't be here, and so I needed to take care of my family, so I needed hours that were going to work with being able to be a mom and have a job. And so I took a huge pay cut and I moved over to working at the elementary school so that I could be closer to my daughter in case we had another emergency.
Okay. So exactly kind of describe when you first learned that the school was going to be shutting down. What was going through your head? What exactly was going on?
Well, there had been schools on the chopping block we'd been on the chopping block for a few years to shut down, and they were going to shut down Majestic, but they ended up turning it into an art school instead, and they were going to renovate our school because the school, when it was originally built, was just meant to be temporary, and then they were going to actually rebuild the school and everything. But as time went on, they didn't rebuild, and they had set aside money to rebuild the school, but ended up dispersing that to other schools and kind of helping upgrade those and renovate those, and decided to shut us down. And so the district, or the superintendent, there was a meeting that he had and with everybody at our school, just kind of out of the blue, and just said, we're shutting the school down in 1 year. And so that gave us all kind of a year to scramble and find other jobs. And it was whether you stay with the sinking ship or you go and you find something else. And a lot of us stayed because we'd worked there so long and our kids had gone there, and so it was a place that was near and dear to our hearts. And when we learned of it, we really hoped that they would keep us open for another year, but they didn't. They started closing proceedings, and people fought to keep it open. The neighborhood fought to keep it open. The parents fought to keep it open, but it didn't do any good. They made their decision, and most of the board voted to shut the school down. Even though their kids didn't go there anymore, they shut the school down. And so I was subbing a lot because teachers were having to go on interviews and things, and they promised us a bonus if we would stay with the school for a year. So a lot of us stayed because we could use the money. We don't make a lot, so we needed the money, and so a lot of us stayed and thought, well, we'll just figure out what we are, because I mean, most of us were considered assistants at that point. We're dispensable is how they see it sometimes. And so teachers were off doing interviews and finding places to go and being hired, and some people were jumping ship already. And during the summer, we found out quite a few people weren't coming back, and so the principal was scrambling to hire teachers to come back and teach for at least 1 year. And it was hard to find teachers that wanted to come and be part of a school for just 1 year. That wasn't guaranteeing them a job the next year. And so we had a lot of brand new teachers that it was their first year teaching, and they did amazing in the chaos. And it was sad. It felt very sad that year, and with everything so final. And so we were heartbroken when we found out.
And how's it affected, like you said, it's affected a lot of people without jobs, but I guess how's it affected as you've seen maybe some of the students that went there?
So I travel to different schools now to sub, and because I figured I didn't want to have to get to know a whole new staff, a whole new principal, a whole new everything, and I didn't think I'd find one that would let me be part-time assistant, part-time sub like I was with the other schools. So I just decided to sub full-time, and so I go to the schools and I see the kids, and the kids, they light up when they see me, because that's a lifeline for them. That was something that they knew. They knew me. They knew that I was there all the time in the hallways. And but when I ask how things are going, the first thing they say is, I miss my old school, because that, to them, that was a home, and they got their home taken away, and that was hard, and they have to adapt. And my own daughter still feels that way when we have teachers and staff that are spread throughout the district, so when the kids do see the librarian, or they see the front desk lady or whatever, these kids are ecstatic, because to them that was a piece of home, and so they're comforted by that. But it's still not the same. And where my own daughter had to transition to 6th grade, and now she's got to transition again next year to junior high, that was hard on her. It's difficult for her, even though she got a great teacher. She got into a class with a couple of students that she knew from the other school, but she still tells me that she really misses her old school.
Okay, thank you so much.